A very good afternoon. How are you doing? Hope you're doing great. Hope your week is moving on swiftly. My name is Bosco and welcome to Farm Drive right here to Farmers Media where we connect, learn and grow. I hope you're doing good. I hope you had a good day. I don't know how the weather is outside there right now because the last time I was outside, I didn't like it. It was super cold. Super cold. You can reach out via our DMs and let's on the comment section on our Facebook page at our Farmers Media. Let me know how the weather is wherever you are. Let's share this. Let's get to know what's happening. Been away for a while, but I'm back. I'm back. Right here at Farm Drive, where we connect, learn, and grow. Remember to follow all our social media platforms on Facebook at Farmers Media, Twitter at @farmers_, and on our website www.afarmers.com. And also, we have a TikTok account at @farmers with Z. Follow us and let's keep interacting. Let's so that you don't miss anything. If in case you miss, make sure you go to our YouTube channel where every live we go, it's being recorded and uploaded on our channel. So don't forget to subscribe, like, and even share to friends. And also, if you need something to be discussed or a certain area concerning farming that you feel like you need to get some information, knowledge, feel free to reach us. We bring an expert or discuss about it. Make sure you catch up with our shows every day of the week from Monday to Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. right here at the Farmers. And before we move on, I'd like to check on the traffic updates. Let's see how our roads are moving. As you can see, Mlolongo, Mombasa Road towards Mlolongo. The road, it's moving. It's a bit moving, but not that fast. Mombasa Road, the same way. Towards Nairobi West, there's a place there. It's it's moving. The road is moving. There's a point whereby towards Machakos on your way to Kitengela, there is a bit of traffic, but the road is moving. Where else? Ngong Road, there's a place, there's a traffic somewhere. Pale Sitam, kuna traffic, yes. Then Rongai, on your way, Pale Suron Place Hotel. Towards Exciting, there's a bit of traffic. Multimedia University, there's a bit of traffic, but it's moving. Bomas of Kenya, at least, but it's moving. This is a time whereby people are moving from. Some are coming out from work, some are going, there's that promotion. But we understand, it happens. So that it is what it is. It's our roads. So as much as we have nothing to complain about, but we're here to it. Anyway, today, our main topic of today, we are discussing about post-harvest management practices on strawberries. Who doesn't like strawberries? Who doesn't like strawberries? Okay, most people do. Personally, I'm a big fan of strawberry. So I love strawberries because, just look at how strawberry looks like. They're very sweet, attractive. From every aspect of the strawberry, it's just awesome. So there's some of these things when it comes to harvesting, post-harvesting, these practices that takes place that sometimes as farmers we end up making a mistake, and maybe some of them get spoiled on the way. Some of them rot, run bad. Like, what are some of these things that contribute to such? We're here to talk about them and to see how we're going to tackle the issue, and at least, be aware of what is right supposed to be done and what's not supposed to be done. Okay, right here we're going to discuss about strawberry. First of all, let's talk about a little bit of it, because there's a time previously we hosted a show. We were three of us. Yeah, we talked about the general post-harvesting management practices of all of fruits and vegetables. We weren't specific, but today I've decided to talk about strawberry. Strawberry is, I call it a beautiful fruit because it's beautiful and it's delicate. Once you just mishandle it, that's the end of it. It all starts from the production point, like from how you're preparing the land towards, how you're going to. It needs a lot. Okay, let me just take you step by step before we get to the post-production, the post-harvest. Now, when preparing your strawberry land, first thing, you need to test your soil. That's one thing we usually talk about day in, day out. Make sure you know how your soil health is. That is very important. So consider testing your soil at all costs. So when it comes to strawberry, you want to farm. Okay, actually it takes 3 months to mature. Now, I feel like it's the 3 months, and it's so easy at the same time delicate. So if at all you want to start farming strawberry, you must be dedicated, because if you miss a point, then you're done. So to begin with, when you're going to do your land preparation, as I said, first of all, you have to test your soil. After doing the soil testing, you have to, when digging the land and all that, you have to raise where you're going to plant it. You have to raise the land, like the piece of land, you have to raise it a bit high from the ground before you plant. Why that? Because first of all, strawberries, while they give out the fruits is I feel it's not supposed to, in real sense, it's not supposed to touch the ground. On the other hand, water. Strawberry is grown in a place where there is controlled water supply. So definitely, if you plant it on just a flat land, maybe when it rains, it might be swept away because it has the stem is not that strong, and also the roots, they're not that deep. So definitely, if you have to plant it, you have to raise your farm above the ground, some meters high, like a bit high, so that to manage water. That's one thing. Once you plant it, the main things you should consider here. After planting it, you should mulch it with there's this black pepper, somehow like a cotton pepper, but it's black. So you need to cover it so that we have it's covered, like it's mulched, the mulching paper. Yeah, that's what you use. The reason why you use the mulch paper, number one, it's to conserve moisture. Number two, contain the growth of weeds. Number three, once the strawberry gives out flowers and give out bear fruits, strawberry fruits are not supposed to touch the ground, because once it touches the ground or the soil, it goes bad, it rots. Once it is exposed, like there's too much water on it, goes bad. Number three, like, okay, that's why it's supposed to the importance of the mulch paper. Once it gives out fruits, the fruit is, even if it touches, it is not touching the ground where the soil is. It doesn't come in contact with the soil. So it lays on the mulch paper, and which is fine, because once it gets that, it goes bad. That's why I told you strawberry is a beautiful fruit. Beautiful meaning it's a girl, a lady fruit, very delicate. So you need to take all care, precautions, and everything. Be careful when handling strawberries. Now, when it comes to after you do the mulching and all that, remember you have to use the mulch paper. And when doing watering, farmers, I beg you, at least control your water. Don't give it to, it depends on water. Water gives it so energy for it to, pass and all that. But when doing watering, if you have set up an irrigation, kindly, okay, you're advised to use drip irrigation. You can buy the drips and all that, so that it's not if you decide to do using the watering can, you every now and then, when strawberries need water every now and then, but it's controlled water, not just water. You're just not watering it for the sake of watering. It's supposed to be controlled. So what you need to do here is use drip, because drip, it just goes directly to the soil, and doesn't come into contact with the fruit or the leaves, so it's safe. That one is safe. So the reason why strawberry you need to control water while watering it is, the moment you give it too much water, it's going to lose the taste. Yeah, the sweetness, it's like diluting. While you are making juice, like the concentrated juice, if you dilute it and use more water than the juice, definitely it's going to taste, you get that awful taste. Yeah, now you can imagine you just use, water it, give it too much or excess water, and then when you take your strawberries to the market, even you yourself, when you just taste it, it's weird. Like, it doesn't taste like strawberry, it tastes like some water in the berry. You get. So you are advised, use controlled irrigation. While doing watering, at least use the water, like control the watering. For instance, you only water it when you have to test before you water. Once maybe let's say you water today and tomorrow you go and check the soil. If the soil is dry, use your finger, dip it. Just know if the soil is dry, you have to water it. If it's still wet, that's fine. But you have to control. Now, controlling doesn't mean that you don't give it water. You give it, but adequately. Not excess, not less. That's what, like, strawberry requires a lot, so you should consider that. Okay. Someone might be asking, what do you think, maybe, what if I don't raise my my ground, or what if I don't use, or what if I use a different mulch material? Someone might be asking him or herself that question. Okay, which is good? First of all, one thing you need to understand, and I'll keep on repeating, is strawberries are very delicate, and if you miss a point, you're going to get a loss. Because I don't want you to get lost, I want you to get profits. This avoid, like, at least follow the instructions while using mulching. Anything can be a mulch material, be it the dry grass, dry leaves, stalks. You can use them, yes, but not on strawberries, because once it comes into contact with something that might be sharp, something might be, contaminating, something that might be having, storing, dry grass might be having some living organisms within it. So, and them infesting the strawberry is easier. So you're advised not to use that and to use a mulch paper. Now, once you've done with that, when it comes to harvesting, okay, first of all, I did forgot to mention this. So before you do or you plant any strawberries, please check on the varieties, seed varieties, and while checking on the seed varieties, also ask questions. Is this fit for the the conditions, the climatic conditions within my area? If the varieties you're given or sold through doesn't fit, don't waste your time, because it's not going to adapt. It's not going to give you what you want. So you consider where you want to do your farming from. You want to plant your strawberries from. How is the ecological conditions? How are they? Secondly, variety. And we're going for the variety, make sure it's the one which is compatible, the one which can do good both in dry and wet areas, depending on what you want to achieve. We have around 40 something varieties of strawberries in Kenya. Yeah, in Kenya we have that. So you go for the one that you're compatible with, the one that has market, the one that meets the standards that you want, or your market standards. The other thing, while buying seeds, kindly use certified seeds to plant. Okay, I understand strawberries can be propagated. Yes, they can. Even if you're going for the ones which are being propagated, at least find the right ones that matches with what you want. The ones that won't let you down. Make sure you go for that. The other one. Now we are done. That is how the procedure of growing, coming up with it, and as you grow, and now let's get to harvesting. During harvesting, strawberry is one of delicate fruit that when it comes to harvesting, there are a lot of things you should consider doing. First of all, cleanliness. That is the number one factor you should consider. While doing it, it should be okay. Obviously, most of them are usually clean because they haven't touched the ground, and the farm is usually kept clean, and it hasn't come into contact with any mud, because the moment it touches mud, that's the end of it. It goes bad, or it's it gets spoiled. So while harvesting, there's some of the precautions that you need to take while doing harvesting in strawberries. Sorry, I don't know, I'm just having a headache. Anyway, number one, avoid the type of container you're going to use while harvesting matters. So definitely the one you're supposed to use, just pick something that you're sure you're going to put that has that allows air circulation. That is number one. Or if it doesn't, at least it's an open container that is so wide that doesn't, make them congest or do anything. And while plucking it, pluck it with the bud. If you remove the bud, that's the end of it. And strawberries are unlike avocados, whereby you can pick, maybe harvest the green and ripe, the unripe avocados, take it where there is, take it to the house after between 3 and 7 days, it's ripe. No. Once you pluck unripe, the unripe strawberries usually green. Once you pluck it or pick it, that's the end of it. Expect nothing but rotting. I hope you're together. If you're going to do harvesting, kindly, number one, pick the red ones, the red strawberries, the one which are ripe. And usually strawberries are ripe and eaten raw, like ready for the market. So first of all, you need to establish your market. How far is your market? Like how long will it take to get there, and when you're going to harvest? So definitely the moment you start harvesting, you're harvesting it while taking it somewhere, because strawberries are perishable. The moment you pluck them from the stalk, that's how their life, how do you put it? Their life, not cycle. The duration, how they're going to survive reduces. So if you pick them today, make sure they reach the market or the storage facilities by that day. After 2 days, if you just pick them and leave them there, you'll find they have already rotten. So at least make sure you have your market first, so that when you're picking them, you know where you're taking them. Or maybe someone is coming to buy from the farm. So at least you're sure. Because don't pick them, then wait for the market. No, it only takes 2 days. Unless you have a storage facility whereby, if you pick them, you're going to store them. And you're storing them where it is moist free. And somewhere where there's that circulation and they still remain fresh. You're sure they'll still remain fresh. Because I'm sure no one will ever want to eat strawberries which are not fresh. You know how they taste. I've ever tasted one. It's yuck. No one, that taste itself, it's a turn off for you and for anyone. You'll just be like, no, this is not what I signed for. So one thing you should consider is the freshness. Also, it's very important. So while picking strawberries, you should be careful. Number one, not to, throw them or make them, hit the moment it hits the container and it gets how do I put it? Like a fracture. Will I call it a fracture? Okay, it crashes. It gets that breakage. That's the end of the strawberry. Because there's nothing you can do about it. And the moment it has done that, goes to another one, you're done. That's the end of it. So you should be very careful. So treat strawberries the way you treat a baby girl, like a small baby girl, or either. Just treat them like that. Very delicate. You don't need, you don't need to push them, squeeze them. No. Actually, in fact, while picking, I don't know if my producer has a video of people picking strawberries in the farm. You see how it's done. Like, you just pluck it and place it. Pluck it and place it. Plucking and placing. If you have those containers that are used to store them, you just pick, pluck, count. If they're supposed to get like the container holds like 10 or 12 of them, you just put 10 or 12 and cover it. No more. If you try to squeeze them, they'll go bad because they need circulation. They need where there's aeration, where they have this, at least this space. So while doing that, while harvesting, you should consider that all the time. The other thing, unless you're planning to do your own, let's say, production, or you want to get seeds out of the strawberries, as when you pick them and keep them, or unless you're making a strawberry jam, that is a post, like you want to manufacture. That's where you can pluck the, you can pick and pluck the, what is it called, the bud part, and let it be like the fruit on its own. I wish I could have come with some 2 or 3 strawberries here today so that I illustrate what I'm trying to explain. So, what you're supposed to do, unless you're planning to do, you're you're manufacturing something out of it, or you are targeting a certain end product, that's when you'll harvest and store it for yourself. Just as if you're making juice, if you get the one that is, a bit, it has a maybe like the one that has a fracture, the one that has, just hit the wall of the bucket, those that they haven't really gone bad, but they are still in shape, but they can't be stored for long. Those are the ones which are suitable for doing, for making juice. You can make strawberry juice, strawberry shakes, strawberries smoothie. They're very good, and others even make strawberry jam. I don't know how the process of making jam, but I'll one day visit a farm and manufacturing house that makes jam, and let's see how it's done. Let's see all the process from how it's being harvested to the process step 1 to the finished product. I think it's going to be fun as watching, and I'm sure you don't want to miss this. Yeah, I'm looking forward. In case you know someone out there who is a farmer, someone who maybe grows strawberries, produces or manufactures strawberries to the end product, kindly link me up. Just comment or tag them in this video. I'll really appreciate it. I want to follow up. I like to meet 2 or 3 of them, bring them to studio. Let them explain to us the challenges they've gone through. They do's and don'ts and strawberries, like a lot of knowledge that you need for the maybe upcoming farmers. Personally, I would love to grow strawberries. I really love to grow strawberries. I don't know if where I come from there, it's easy for them, like the ecological condition favor them. But wherever it is, I love to grow strawberries. I need an expert. I need to find someone. In case you know someone who he grows. Actually, I need a farmer. Someone who has the experience from the ground, and he understands. He's been in the industry more than 2 years. Strawberries takes 3 months. So definitely if you've done farming for strawberries for 2 years, that's a very, very long time, and it has the experience there is top notch. So if you know farmer, maybe, or what have you ever encountered while doing farming or strawberry? I really want to farm strawberries. Some strawberries are best, especially when it comes to breakfast. I don't know if you know that. If you take a strawberry juice, strawberry shake in the morning, or just eat strawberries fruit. I'm telling you, your day is gonna be fantastic. You're going to have a fabulous day, enjoyable day, very fresh, very alert. Your morning will be dope. So I think we can do this. And so I don't the farming of strawberry. If I wish we could be having, like, we could be having more farmers into strawberries, because growing them, okay, most of them who I've met are growing it for export, like for the sake of exporting them. So maybe I don't know what the reason for them exporting much. They concentrate on the foreign market than the local market. Is it that people in the local market doesn't like strawberries, or what's the perception? Because I understand a kg of 1 kilogram of strawberries goes for around 800 Kenyan shillings. That is how many dollars? 6 points something. Or yeah. So I feel like there's a lot to be done. There's a lot to be done. I want to be part of those farmers who have large acres of land just for strawberries. And strawberries, I don't think it requires that much. The only thing is having the right people in the farm, people who understand that strawberries are delicate. And the goodness of strawberry, if you plant one stem, it can give you another one and give you another one. So all you need to do is just be careful. This one has given up this one and it's growing roots. You cut it, transfer it to another. It's fun. I've seen the plantations where they have, super fun. I like to. So if you're among the people who want to be farmers, who are aspiring to be farmers in the near future, and they're interested in strawberry farming, this is where you belong. You're in the right place. You're going to find an expert. You're going to find these experienced farmers to come here in studio and let them explain to us. Okay, did this, I failed, I did this. This was my first time failure. This is what happened to me on the way. And now this is my success story. Like, yeah, I tried, I did. I failed. But now I'm up again, very strong and very proud about strawberries. I want such stories, such inspiring stories. Those are some of the things I just want to hear. So, in case you know someone, and you know they're on the social media platform, just tag them, even if it's their contact, drop them there, or on our DMs, on the Farmers Media, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Search for a Farmers Media, you'll get us. Let's keep this going. Now we've done the harvesting part. Now we want to get into today's main focus, where we talk about the post-harvest management. So, first of all, what is this? What do you mean by post-harvest? These are the post-production practices that includes you have to do cleaning, you have to do cleaning. That means there are some which will wash them, others the selecting, that like where we do grading and sorting, that is the part of selection. The other one is there are those which require disinfection, there are those which requires drying, there are those which requires packing, and of course storage, very critical. So those are the practices, the post-harvest management. This is the practices that are carried out after production or after harvesting. Now when it comes to strawberries, you might be asking yourself, what are some of the importance of these practices, the above practices, the ones I've mentioned, someone might be asking, what are the importance? What are the benefits? And you'll be like, okay, maybe it has no benefits. Yeah, it has. This is what determines if you're going to get your profit or loss. And if you miss something, that's the end of you. You were done. You were done, like totally done, and you'll be like, now, all the good work you did on the farm up to harvesting, the labor, the investment, it's just gone. So you have to be very careful when doing the post-harvesting management. Now, number one, importance of post-harvesting management practices. Number one, it extends, while you're doing it, it extends the shelf life and the storage life. When it comes to strawberries, its life extension in the shelf life depends on how you're going to pack them and storing them. If you did good sorting and grading, and you did proper, the packaging and storage, it's going to increase the shelf life. Definitely, strawberries can stay, if refrigerated, they can stay for 2 weeks, 1 to 2 weeks, and still maintain the same taste. So if I totally mess up, that's the end of you. So it's important to carry out these practices because it increases the shelf life. So when it comes to strawberries, because they've been saying since they began the show, strawberries are baby girls. They are delicate. If you have a baby girl, like a girl child, like a baby who is a girl, and if you pinch that baby will cry, do all sorts of things, cry, and she'll feel hurt. The same way you avoid doing it again. So when it comes to strawberries, avoid, it all starts there at harvesting stage. While harvesting, don't just throw them. Handle them with care, so that to avoid them getting cracks and all that. So while handling them, if you handle them with care, you're going to increase their shelf life and reduce loss. I hope we're together. Number two, if you handle strawberries careful, their taste and their appearance will be catchy. And will be attractive, and someone will want to buy. Someone will be like, oh, those strawberries look good. I like to purchase them. I like to buy them. And the taste also. If you keep them fresh, if you test them, the taste will still be like the same taste as it was in the farm. So if you handle them with care, you can bet on it. They're still fresh, the taste is still the same, and the way they appear, they're still the same, like the way during harvesting and when they were in the farm. So if you carry out proper handling and the management practice, you're going to get the practices. If you take good care and precautions, you're going to get what is it called? You're going to get the appearance and the taste are going to remain the same, and they're still going to be fresh. I don't know, I was just picturing myself in farm setup whereby it's grown strawberries and you're harvesting, and someone just, there are those people who are careful and there are those who are reckless. So I'm just picturing the two while harvesting. One is reckless, one is careful. I don't know if you're getting the picture. And then you just bring, both of them have just done the harvesting and they have brought the fruits. They have brought the fruits, and you look at them and be like, this one, they have no fractures, they're still fresh, they look good, but the other ones, even they've already started producing juice. You can imagine. Now, if you take the two to the market, the one which are still fresh will be sold away. But this one, people just pick the fresh ones, pick the one that looks good, at least they haven't been fractured, take them. The rest will be left for that person. Now, be wise. Be wise. At least if you're taking people to the farm to do the harvesting, make sure you're taking the responsible people who you are sure you're not going to get a lot of losses. We are trying to cut off the loss from farms while, to maintain and to, for the sake of the food security. Someone will be asking, is strawberry necessary as a food security? Yeah. Some of us are too lazy to cook. So we can even do strawberries for dinner and be like, yeah, we could. Speaking on behalf of 99 others, I know. If you're that type of a person who can just even eat mango for dinner and you're just good, raise up your hand. I want to see you. So, we are trying to educate you. We are trying to, pass information. At least let's rectify the went wrong. Let's not have post-harvest losses. It's painful to a farmer. It's really painful. Like, you put a lot of efforts from the beginning of land preparation to seed, to plantation, to transplanting, the chemicals to control it, the additives you put, fertilizer. Even the labor itself, it's costly. Then after harvesting, you just don't even care anymore because then long at the farm you feel like now you can relax. No. You can only relax when you have more of the cost of what you spent from the beginning to the end. So at least have a profit. Once you have the profit and you're good, you'll be like, now you're good. That is what you celebrate. So at least let's follow up on these things. Let's get to know what you're supposed to do and what you're not supposed to do. Let's take the precautions. And from this, we are going to achieve a lot. The other one is, while practicing these post management practices, we were talking about the benefits, just in case you're joining us right now. This is the Farmers Media. The show right here is Farm Drive, and the host on air is Bosco KE. Very important. The KE part stands for Kenya. So it's Bosco Kenya, but the short form is KE, Bosco KE. And we're talking about the post-harvesting management practices of strawberries. So just in case you're joining us now, I was tackling the importance of post-harvesting management, where I had said earlier, number one, it extends the shelf life and the storage. Number two, we say it determines the taste and the appearance of the strawberry. So if you do them well, it's going to be, bring out what the strawberry holds. The other one protects the fruit. Like if it protects the fruit from animals and pest attack. Okay, this is where storage comes in when it comes to protection. That is storage. So if you store it well, definitely you've protected it. So if you store your strawberries well, if you store them well, you've protected them from any invasion, either be it pest, be it contamination, be it animals. Some animals are so stubborn. So if you store them well, definitely you've protected them. The other one, like when it comes to storage, let me talk a bit about storage before it's part of it, but we'll get to it as eat traditions as the show continues. Now, when it comes to storage, strawberries are very selective when it comes to storage, because whatever material you're going to use to store it, make sure it's a material that will not support something that will not support rotting, something that is well circulated, the air aeration is okay, and it doesn't, it's protective. Like no matter what happens, it will still maintain the shape of the strawberries and the quality doesn't change. Have you ever tried storing something inside a container, and once you get them out, the taste has changed? Like it no longer tastes as it was in the beginning before you store it. Now, if you've ever encountered such, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about when it comes to strawberries and when it comes to storage in strawberries. The other factor, if you carry out proper if you carry out the proper post-harvesting management practices, you're promoting or you're contributing towards the food security. Yeah, in case you didn't know. Because here you're going to control the spillage, the rotting, you're going to control the amount of waste, fruit waste, especially strawberries, you're going to contain. If you contain them, definitely you're contributing to food security. There'll be plenty. And those people who consume will be happy. There'll be plenty and you'll have less loss. So it is important to carry out these post-harvesting management practices. And as I mentioned earlier, some of them include you have to clean, sorting and grading, of which this is very important. And remember, there's a day in the previous videos you can check, I did a whole video of sorting and grading, so you have to check out the other one, like the appearance. And I mentioned about the appearance, the taste. These are some of the importance of carrying out post-harvesting practices. And what are these post-harvesting management practices? We say this when it comes to strawberries. There is a lot of post-harvest management practices and other types of fruits and vegetables and of course crops and even products from livestock. Yeah, there are. Someone might be asking in meat how. Yeah, we have meat that is sampled for making canned meat. the one that it can make minced meat, the ones that can be eaten like as you cook, the ones that can be roasted. Yeah, that's where it applies. It really applies everywhere. Let's say this post-production practices carry out goes all around everything. It goes around everything that deals with agriculture. So it applies everywhere. So so I was we were trying to look back or trying to break down these practices. First of all, we've done the benefits. Now, what are these practices of post-management harvest, the post-harvest management practices? Number one, we just mentioned about cleaning, we have sorting and grading, we have disinfecting, we have washing, those which can be washed, we have the drying, those which can be dried, packing and storage. But for strawberries, we have, let's now sample out for strawberries. After harvesting, you can, very little can be cleaned because most of them rarely come into contact with mud or dust because of where they are. So cleaning can happen, though in very rare circumstances. Let me say that. The other one is sorting and grading. This one is very important because strawberries can be sorted and graded depending on how their sizes. There are those which are big, there are those which are medium size, there are those which are small. So when doing sorting and grading, this is basically you sort out. Sorting this will remove the unwanted materials that are within the fruits. Maybe it could be pieces of the leaves, while harvesting. Maybe you pluck the leaves, some of the how do you put it? Maybe the branch. If you plucked and you picked something like a branch of it, you get rid of it. That's how you do sorting. Now, when it comes to grading, this is why you grade them according to their sizes, and we have different grades, like we have grade 1, 2, 3, 4, up to, depending on how it's supposed to be graded. Also the variety matters. There are varieties which have up to grade 4. There are those which have up to 6. So it depends. So while doing grading, you have to be careful because grade 1 should be having, it should be the best grade, the best of the best, the best of your produce is grade 1. You have to put that, and grade 1 is usually pricey because it's the one which is top notch, catchy, something welcoming. So it has to be. You have to be very careful when doing grading, especially in grade 1. So, and we mentioned about sorting and grading on our previous videos. I was explaining, and we stated the importance of sorting and grading, and especially grading importance. So you find out, I'm a farmer, and generally a kg of strawberries, while I'm selling it to these retailers, while I'm selling to them, maybe I'll sell to them 1 kg at 200 Kenyan shillings, and they go and sell it at 350, 400, 450, depending on where they're selling them from or where. So when you do grading, that is the price for the general. But when you do grading, grade 1, as a farmer, you can sell it at 300 shillings, and that's a lot of money. For them, they decide how much they're going to sell it, of which it's none of their problem because you've done your part. you did your calculations and you'll be like, now if I sell grade 1 at 400 per kg or 300 per kg or 350 per kg, then I'm going to get my profit. So it's upon you. For them, they'll decide if they're going to sell per kg at 1,000. That's none of your problem. So that's why I'm advocating do sorting. No, grading. Okay, sorting is important, but grading also is very important because this is where you get your profit from. This is where you determine, like, oh, now if I do good grading, I'll count on, like, if for instance grade 1 you sell grade 1 at around 350 per kg, and then maybe you have like 3 grades. Grade 2 you sell it at 250 or 200 because that's fair, and then grade 3, because it's not that big, not that, you know how grade 3 looks like, you can sell it at 150 per kg, or sell it to the local market people, or the people who produce juice, make smoothies, sell them at a fair price, of which you'll not have gone for a loss. The grade 1 will compensate the price for grade 3, and of course, you'll get a profit for that. This is Farm Drive, and I think we'll take a commercial break for now. Make sure you don't touch that dial. We'll be back with more. And as we come back, we're going to talk about the challenges that are facing, what are some of these challenges that farmers go through. For instance, when it comes to the post harvesting, post management practices, the challenges. Make sure you don't touch that dial. We'll be back in a few.
Drip irrigation is a type of micro-irrigation system that has potential to save water and nutrients by allowing water to drip slowly to the roots of the plants, either from above the soil surface or buried below the surface. The goal is to place water directly into the root zone and minimize evaporation. This system is very efficient because it delivers water directly to the plant roots, reducing water waste. It's often used in arid regions or during periods of water shortage, but it's also used in more temperate climates for its efficient and conservation benefits. Common uses include vegetable gardens, flower beds, trees, shrubs, and agroforests. It can be set up for both small-scale home gardens and large-scale agricultural operations. The system requires a water source, a method to distribute the water, usually tubes and hoses, and emitters which control the amount of water delivered.
Welcome back. That was a quick commercial break. I told you to not touch that dial because I wasn't gone for long. And welcome back. For those joining me, my name is Boss Queen, and this is Farm Drive Show right here at Farmers Media, where we connect, learn, and grow. And we were talking about the post-harvest management practices of fresh fruit, especially strawberry. The baby girl. I call strawberries the baby girl because, these are the most delicate and sweet fruits. If I say sweet and you get it, you're good. You're in safe hands. If you know, you know. Anyway, let's what are some, like, I said, when you come back, we're going to talk about the challenges that facing the post after the post, like these post-production processes, these challenges. What are some of these challenges that farmers go through in strawberries? First of all, storage facilities. We have inadequate storage facilities. For instance, strawberries, if you harvest them and you fail to get enough or adequate storage facility, let me tell you, it's going to be hell to you. Like, if you don't store them well, how do we say it in Kenya? Kitakuramba. Anyway, yeah, like, you have to be careful when it comes to storage. I'm insisting in that. Okay, I understand most farmers lack storage facilities because most of them, for instance, if you go to the village, most of them doesn't have refrigerators or the cooling, the cold chain, like the cold chain, you understand the cold chain, whereby you take your fruits to be stored there under low temperatures. Okay, it's funny. When you say low temperatures, someone might be asking, low, again, it's supposed to be stored in high. Okay, high means hot, low means cold. I hope now I've elaborated. So if you want to store something in a cold or in a cool place, you're storing it in low temperatures. And there are those which can be stored in high temperatures. High temperature, the moderate temperature is 25 degrees. So from 26 going up, 27, 28, 29, 30, that is high temperatures. But below 25, coming to 24, 18, 5, 6, 0. 0 exists, 0 degrees, right? That is low temperature. So, and fruits, vegetables are usually stored under low temperatures to maintain the freshness, yeah. So, the number one challenge that is facing, most farmers is inadequate storage facilities, because most can't access refrigerators, maybe due to supply of electricity, and others maybe because where they stay they can't reach out to either, but they've decided to do farming. They've decided to farm strawberries. So you find it as a challenge, because if they happen to harvest and the strawberries doesn't reach the market immediately, then they're going to have a massive loss. So that is the challenge number one. Number two, after harvesting, or like we might have the before harvesting and after harvesting infestation of either pest or intruders. So pest and disease, or some disease, or yeah. So number one, after harvesting, you can be, if not well stored, can be attacked by a pest. There are worms. Yeah, strawberries are attacked by worms. Yes, if you don't store them well, if it happens to a worm happens to enter it, that's the end of it. You cannot eat something where you're just looking at it like this, and you're seeing worms walking, like doing like this. It's going to be a total turn off. Right here, before I continue, let's get to the roads and see what's happening. Traffic. Right now, this is the time whereby the roads, the roads are not, some of them are so impassable. Like especially CBD, right there at Jamia Mosque. It's very, that place congested, and the road It's moving, though it's slow, towards Junction Mall, right there, like from town on your way. Very, very, very congested. On your way to Bombas of Kenya, like that road, when you're heading either going to Rongai, it's congested. Like the road, the traffic, at least find an alternative route, because that one is not passable. The other one, Mlolongo, wait. On your way, okay, past Mlolongo there's an expressway. So if you are headed to the Mombasa Road, I could have told you to use the expressway, but past Mlolongo there's an expressway, so you have to. It's not that good. At the river towards Kitengela, on your way, it's not that good. Like though it's moving, but it's slow. The roads are moving, the cars are moving, but it's very, very slow. The other one, the people coming from Kitengela on your way to Kisaju, right there, kuna bit of traffic, but it's moving. It's moving a bit. Moving those, yeah, that's what is happening. Haile Selassie, you know how it is, but it's moving towards CBD. But that's just how it is. And where else? In Bakassi, at Cabanas, you can use an alternative if possible. You can use an alternative if you are heading to Embakasi. Jogoo Road, it's moving, though it's congested. Yeah, around Makadara on your way to. It's congested, but at least the roads are moving. The cars are moving, but very slow. Very slow. Just at least try and find an alternative so that you don't get stuck on the way, quite considering that you're headed home and you're tired from work and all that. So consider using an alternative route, or else you'll get stuck. You'll get stuck at the road. As I was explaining about the challenges, let's look at some of them. The others is the quality. Quality degradation. As a farmer, you usually have a goal. Like, having a goal is very important. You know very well, but this is what you've harvested, but during these practices, something happens and their quality goes down. You're going to get a loss, definitely. So this is what you do. We need to curb this issue. The quality can be degraded through, once the strawberry is contaminated, that's the end of it. Like, it doesn't take time for it to, it just goes bad. When it is exposed to too much heat, it goes bad. When there's a bit of breakage, maybe it gets injured, gets some fractures, that is the end. And you know what? The moment it's fractured and it has some, holes and all that, the quality goes down. And once the quality goes down, the price has to go down also. And as a farmer, you're going to get a loss. So I advocate for farmers to be careful. We are trying to curb this issue of losses. We want farmers at least to get at most, let's use at most, At most 2% or let's say 5% loss at most for a farmer. At most 5%. So at least as a farmer, get to know for you, because of all the works you've been through from the first step to the last, get your 90% back to the pocket. At least if you get the 90 and lose the 10, it's fair enough. Because most people, no, not most farmers, you find someone getting a 50% loss, others 70. It's very painful to get such a loss. So I advocate farmers, at least let's take care of our crops. No matter what you're doing, like no matter what type of farming you're handling, at least make sure you're careful with what you're doing. Take all the precautions necessary to minimize the losses. That's what you're trying to curb. The next one is, and this one is the most common problem or challenge that is facing farmers when it comes to post-production management practices. The delays in transportation. Strawberries, the moment you delay them to the market and maybe you didn't pack them well and all that, that's a loss, because strawberries can't survive. First of all, they can't survive heat. Too much exposure to heat, they can't survive. So you try as much as possible, if you put them in a cold, maybe, where they low temperature, let me use that, they're going to survive. But most people, as I said earlier, those in the village who are farmed the strawberries, they can't access the refrigerator or the cold chain. So what you do is at least make sure the means of transport after you're harvesting or during harvesting, you're sure once I'm done with harvesting here, there's this vehicle ready to take these strawberries to the market or where they're supposed to be stored. Mostly it's for storage. We as farmers, we have a motto, like we are harvesting while the market is ready. Wait, just harvest when taking them to the market, not harvesting and storing. If you want to store them, let them remain in the farm until you're ready. Because the moment you pluck strawberry, their life, their shelf life, it reduces, because it is detached from where its life depends on. So anytime you're doing harvesting, consider harvesting while your market is ready. And delays in transportation, I'm saying, at least make sure you have a means of transport while harvesting, so that once you're done with the grading and the sorting, your fruits are ready for the market, the transport is available. The means of transport, I refine also, you should consider the road networks, be it roads, be it those who are doing air, maybe exporting, or maybe air means taking them from, maybe you are harvesting them from Kisumu, you're taking them to Nairobi. Definitely they can't survive how many hours on the road? Is it 7 hours on the road? It's hectic. So you consider maybe a flight, 45 minutes, you're done. So I urge farmers, at least let's try and look into this issue, whereby the issue of transportation, which I understand some of the roads are impassable, especially when during rainy seasons. Some of them it's too dusty. Some of them maybe there was erosion that took place, so it has potholes everywhere. You know, yeah. So at least let's consider that. Let's try and minimize some of these challenges. Let's try and try and improve. Yeah, try and improve on cutting costs of cutting. Like I feel like I wish I could just be talking from. I'm trying to talk to all farmers here, but I wish I could just be coming to your farm individually, day in, day out, visiting each and every farmer, trying to talk to them and let's hear them. Now, these are some of the challenges that are faced by others. Like, let's say, okay, transportation goes all around, not only for strawberry farmers, but also for other farmers. So I prefer, like, I urge farmers, like, okay, I know I'm just mentioning some of the problems that we see, but there are others which we are not deep into it. Maybe you can mention, you can comment wherever you're watching from. Let us know. What are other problems that you've been facing, you as a strawberry farmer? And maybe your story, what did you go about it? And maybe you might be inspiring someone. You might inspire someone and be like, okay, now I didn't want to do strawberry farming. Maybe my mind was doing something, but you changed their mind and we increase the cost of production, of which it's a plus both to you as a farmer and the economy of the country. The other one is when you do inadequate sorting and grading. Sorting and grading. I've been talking about this and now I'm singing it like a national anthem. Now, consider while doing this post-harvesting management practices. If it happens, your sorting and grading is of poor quality, you're going to get a loss. So I urge farmers, this is what I urge them to do. Make sure you do a proper sorting and grading. Because some of them, most don't even do sorting. Most don't even do grading. So I'll urge you to at least try and do the grading and the sorting, because this one determines what you're going to get. Because nobody is going to come, okay, buy your products when they just look the way they want. Like, it has dust, it has unwanted materials, it has the ones which have gone bad, they haven't been sorted, they haven't been graded. So at least if you don't sort and grade, you are lowering the quality of your produce, more so when it comes to strawberries. If you don't sort them, those that have been injured will pour their soup, I don't know if you're calling it soup or the juice, to others, and they'll make others look like they don't look attractive. So for instance, if you're doing sorting and you find out that there are those which release their juice and come into contact with the others, and maybe they have left the blemishes and all that, you have to clean them. Just wash, clean them, make sure they are clean. Most strawberries, if I buy strawberries from the supermarket today, the first thing, if you've been, like, for instance, for me, this is what I do, is just make sure I have water. I carry my water everywhere. So one thing I do, I usually know they're clean. I just pick one, just wash and then eat. Because it doesn't require like you have to cook, you have to do this. No. So anytime, if you have to pack them for after you're done sorting and grading, while taking them to the market to make sure they're clean. So, as a farmer out there, I know you're listening, you're watching, and I really, really want to cut on cost. Cut on cost for these, let's make this one easy. At least reduce the cost of production. Okay, post-production, the management practices reduces the cost. So let's try our best, our level best, and be our best. We have said the goal here is to get to 90% and only 10% loss. So at least let's do our best to reduce these practices. Yes. And the other one I'm going to talk about is maybe, what do you think how do I put it? Let me rephrase this question. What do you think when we all achieve the goal of 90% or 95% with 5% loss? Where do you think we're going to be in future? Just picture out where we can be. Where are we going to, where we can be in the next future? Keep your comments coming right here at Farm Drive. My name is Boss Queen, and this is a Farmers Media where we connect. Remember, we connect, we learn, and grow. Let's take a short final break, then we'll be back in a few with more details as we wind up for the show. See you in a few. Don't touch that dial.